Hello and welcome to the TheFPSReview.com's YouTube channel. I am your host, Brent Justice, and today I have a quick look at a video card. This video card here is the ASUS ROG STRIX GeForce GTX 1660 Ti O6G Gaming OC Edition. It's a long name and it's also a long video card. This video card is very robust. This is ASUS's top end, highest tier they have based on NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1660 Ti GPU. So this video card is based on that GPU, which is of the Turing architecture. That means it's a 12 nanometer GPU. It has 1536 CUDA cores, 48 ROPs, 96 texture units. Now, the base clock on a stock GTX 1660 Ti is 1500 megahertz, and the boost clock on a stock 1660 Ti is 1770 megahertz for the boost clock. This has 6 gigabytes of GDDR6 at 12 gigahertz on a 192-bit memory bus, which gives it 288 gigabytes a second of memory bandwidth. Now, this being the ASUS O6G Gaming OC Edition model means that it has the highest boost clock on an ASUS GPU based on the 1660 Ti. This has a base clock of 1500, but it's got a boost clock of 1860 megahertz, and that's what makes it special. 1860 megahertz boost versus 1770 on a stock GTX 1660 Ti. It also has an overclock ability in the software that you can simply click and raise it up to 1890 boost with just a simple click of a button if you want a simple overclock. But this video card is built to overclock. That's the entire point of it. It still has 6 gigabytes of GDDR6, and that is at 12 gigahertz, but all of it is overclockable, and that's what makes this video card special and unique. The TDP on it is 120 watts, and ASUS recommends a power supply of 450 watts. So let's take a tour of the video card, go around it, and talk about its features. Obviously, you can see it is much longer than a stock or standard 1660 Ti based video card would be. In fact, this thing measures, let's see, I've got a ruler here, but I've also got the official measurement. It measures 11.9 inches. So make sure you have plenty of space in your case. It's not a small video card. There are smaller 1660 Ti video cards. There are ones with single fan or dual fan. This one is triple fan. So this video card is not meant for small cases. It is meant for extreme overclocking. We have ASUS's axial fan tech design. 3 fans that have enlarged blades and a special ring. It's a barrier ring that allows a higher static pressure of the fans blowing down on the heatsink. So we're talking a lot of airflow from these 3 fans. You will not be held back by GPU temperature and overclocking. The heatsink and printed circuit board are enlarged on this video card. It has a custom PCB throughout the entire video card. The PCB is enlarged. You can see normally is where a normal PCB stops. ASUS has extended this even longer. It goes upward and goes all the way across. And what that does is allows ASUS to put this extremely large heatsink on the video card. That gives it more heat dissipation area, thus allowing cooler temperatures already. You've got that. You have direct contact of the heat pipes with the GPU, and it uses ASUS's Max Connect technology, which gives double the connection between the GPU and the heatsink. So it actually connects very fully, very firmly, and with much more surface area. So that GPU is going to transfer the heat to the heatsink much easier. You can see here, it's very large. And it's in 3 blocks. It's hard to see in this position, but there's 3 blocks of fins, and then it's got heat pipes that go both directions and deliver the heat to all 3 blocks of the heatsink. You can kind of see it in this position, but there's a block here, and then a block here, and then a block here. Actually, here we go. It looks like you can see it better in this position. Yeah, here we go. So you see this little block here, and then this block, which is directly over the GPU, and then this block here, and the heat pipes direct the heat to each one and filter that out. And then the fans keep the entire thing cool. So this is robust cooling for a GTX 1660 Ti. Probably one of the most robust cooling for this GPU. It does not need this level of cooling. Let's be clear about that. But what this allows you to do is to take this 1660 Ti as high as you can, overclocking without temperature holding you back. And it allows you to run lower fan speeds so that sound is not a problem as well. So that is one of the major advantages with this video card. This video card also has a reinforced steel plate. This is part of it here, but it goes throughout the entire base of the video card, and it keeps it rigid and stable, so it will not flex. You also have on the back side here a full back plate, covers the whole thing, keeps it nice and rigid, nice and solid. Turn it around this way so you can see that. It's got a nice design on it. There is RGB on the front side. So what we get on the front side is these little slits here. These actually light up. This is RGB, and this supports ASUS's Sync RGB. And you can also use ASUS's RGB Sync. It's got an RGB header on the video card, so you can control your RGB with software. This also supports ASUS Fan Connect 2, so you can control your fans via GPU temperature with this video card, so that's very helpful as well. And as you can see, we have one 8-pin power connector. So that is required. You will need an 8-pin power connector for this video card. Even though it has a low TDP, ASUS has given you the extra power you need to give you a stable overclock. And this does use ASUS's Super Power Alloy 2 for power delivery component. So it has the highest engineered components for the capacitors, the MOSFETs, all the hardware on it, custom engineered from ASUS to give you the best longevity and the capacity to overclock. These components will last a long time on this video card. So you get all of that hardware. It also has 0 decibel technology, so the fans will shut off below 55 degrees Celsius. Of course, you can manually control that with a fan curve. You're on your own. You're welcome to do that with software, of course. This also has another unique feature right here, this switch. It has a switch. Might be hard to see in the video, but there's a switch right here. This is a dual BIOS switch. This has a dual BIOS. So in the default mode, it's in performance mode. And what that means is you're going to get the highest performance and the more aggressive fan profile. But if you switch it over to the other side, it's a quiet mode. And what that's going to do is lower the fan profile for a more quiet noise. Now, you're purchasing this video card and it's a lot of money. It's not cheap, as a very high price premium, so you're probably not going to be running it in the quiet mode. You're going to prefer the performance mode because you want the most out of your money. So but that is there if you do want that option. It also has a little switch right here on the back. This little thing here turns on and off the RGB. So you can just hit that, turn RGB on or off. You can also see here on the end some of the heat pipes coming through to the heatsink. They go all through the heatsink from the very top to the very bottom. Here are the display ports that it has. It has 2 HDMI and 2 display port. 2 HDMI to display port. Now, because of the way this is designed, all the heat will be dissipated into your case. It doesn't blow out the back. It's not a closed unit by any means. It's an open shroud, so that heat will get thrown into your case. So make sure you have case cooling to move that out of the way. As I mentioned, it's 11.9 inches, pretty lengthy. It's pretty big for a 1660 Ti, but again, that allows for the incredible factory overclock this has and overclocking potential. Now, because of the way NVIDIA GPU Boost works, it'll actually clock itself while gaming well over 1890 megahertz, well over that while gaming. So it already starts out at a very high GPU frequency just out of the box without overclocking it. And if you want to see what that clock speed is, go to our review on our website and you will see what that is. We also overclocked this video card on our website as high as we can. We overclocked the GPU and the memory and we pushed the voltage up. If you want to see what that overclock is, go to our website, read the review. You will see what we got on this thing with the overclock. I'll just spoil you a little bit. It's extremely high. And we showed what the performance difference is between the out-of-box performance and the overclocked performance on our website. We also decided to throw in a Radeon RX 5600 XT in that review, and we overclocked it too, because why not? So we put this thing overclocked versus an overclocked RX 5600 XT. It's a very interesting review, very good review, and it shows those head-to-head overclocked. So you definitely want to check out that review if you want to see if this thing can hold its own. Now, this is geared for a 1080p gaming experience. That's where it's priced at. That's its level of performance. It's geared for that 1080p experience, and it can provide that at medium to high settings at 1080p. It can play games at 1440p, more so when it's overclocked. And if you want to do that, you can get about a medium setting experience in games, depending on the game, at 1440p. More demanding games, you're going to want to lower to 1080p. Less demanding games, maybe you can play some of them at 1440p with this video card, especially if you overclock it. So there is that potential. So that's the gist of this video card, and the reason why it's big and expensive is for that overclocking ability, solely for that. So the price on this thing, well, that's the hard rub on this thing. It is got an MSRP of $329. That's what it is, $329. Now, this was released a year ago. The GTX 1660 Ti GPU was released a year ago, so that's a high MSRP. And when you compare that to current pricing on a Radeon RX 5600 XT, you can see that the GeForce GTX 1660 Ti's days are numbered. However, do check out our review, because you will see that it really can still hang even with a Radeon RX 5600 XT when you overclock this. And for anyone that has owned a 1660 Ti over this past year, you've still had a good gaming experience. And we'll show you what is capable out of the 1660 Ti with this video card in our review. If you're interested in buying one, buy it for that purpose, for the purpose of overclocking it. Otherwise, it's not worth it for the money. But if you're going to overclock it, and if you can find this at a discounted price or a sale price or a really good price, like $280 or under, then this would be a very good video card to play with, especially for enthusiasts and those interested in overclocking. It is not completely irrelevant today, not yet, but its days are numbered. But as far as ASUS goes, they have done a tremendous job with this video card and made it the best 1660 Ti we've ever encountered. It just overclocks so well, and it's really nice. So it's worth checking that out and seeing what we got in the review and how high it can go. And if you are interested in it and you can find a good deal on it, it really is the best 1660 Ti. Do check out our review on that and see what everything we had to say there. And I hope you enjoyed this quick look on this video card. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more of these kinds of videos, please subscribe, like, and hit the little bell notification on our website. And check out our full website at www.TheFPSReview.com. This has been your host, Brent Justice, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.